How's it going, everyone? My name is Jake, and today I want to run you through some ideas for thickening up your guitar and really featuring this element. Before I start, I just want to say thanks to everyone who has continued to be a part of this small channel. Greatly appreciate it and have been having a blast showing you guys what I know and learning from you as well. So over the next few weeks, I may be uploading a little bit less just due to the holiday season and work and all of that stuff. So I just wanted to give you guys a heads up on that. But anyways, let's jump right into this video. I want to talk to you guys about thickening up guitar. So let's get into it. Alright, so we have two guitars, bass and drums, and what I want to be showing you today is this lead guitar. I have a pretty general mix of the whole song, so I just kind of want to show you what I did to thicken up this lead. There's no vocals on this track right now, so I really wanted to make the lead stand out, so I'm going to show you how I did that. First thing is first, as always, I like to EQ and add my general processing. But the difference here is that I didn't go ahead and do like sweeps because the guitar is so mid-range heavy. I really wanted to feature those frequencies instead of subtract them and take away from the guitar. So I'll show you how I did that. The EQ here is this one here is obviously all I did was add a high pass and a low pass filter, things to kind of make room for, the bass and the high end, the overheads. Just a small little adjustment there that won't be too noticeable. However, let's move on to our additions here, and this EQ here is what I want to focus on, and I'm going to bring up my EQ for the rhythm guitar as well and show you my thought process on this. So the first thing that you'll see is I added around 3.47 dB of 415 hertz. Now, I did this because it sounded good. This is something that started to thicken the sound of the guitar, so I brought that up, and then also around 1.6k hertz for just a bit more presence, a bit more body. Now you'll see that I also took out around 690 hertz, around minus 4.39 dB, and the reason why I did that was because you'll see on my rhythm guitar, I added that frequency. So I wanted to make some space for either guitar. I still want them to have their own room in the mix, and I want them to both come out clearly. So that's why I went about that. Moving forward, I just added an air EQ here, added some high end to the guitar, a little bit of shimmer, because once again, there's no vocals in this song, so I wanted to kind of really make this lead guitar sparkle. And then I just added a FG stress, which is the software version of the distressor, at the end of the signal chain to equal out some dynamics, give it a bit more level, make it pop a little bit more. So let's take a listen to what we have with and without just these small changes. Let's bring in the processing. So besides the small dynamic change that comes from mostly the compressor, you can definitely hear the two guitars kind of create their own space once the EQ comes in, and you'll hear the rhythm guitar come out a little bit more. So let's listen to that again. Move up forward, and I'll show you what I've done to kind of thicken up this guitar and feature it more. So the first thing was I made a duplicate of this lead take here, and this is what this lead double is. I've copied over our EQ and our compression processors. so that they have the same characteristics. So right now, all you would hear is a level change due to adding in this track here. However, the things that I did here to kind of thicken up the guitar is I added a chorus and a flanger. Now what I did was to kind of make these fit in is I wanted to make them very subtle. You don't want to add too much of a chorus, too much of a flanger, or else it's gonna sound weird. You don't want to have somebody saying, "Oh, there's definitely a chorus effect. There's definitely a flanger." You want to steer clear of the effect nature of these plugins when thickening up the guitar. You want to use them, just as I said, just to thicken them up, just to make it seem wider. And what I did was I added added the depth control to kind of sync to the tempo of the song a little bit, and dialed it back in with the mix. So as you can see, a little bit less flanger and a little bit more chorus. So let's just take a listen to this lead double here and see what it sounds like. Without these processors. So pretty subtle on its own, but let's take a listen to what they sound like together. Definitely has more character, and that's what I was going for with that. Now the next thing that I wanted to add was multiple delays. Now the reason why I wanted to add multiple delays is to really give myself control over kind of the spatial characteristics of the guitar. Let's take a look at this first delay that I added. I've actually labeled it guitar delay 2 for some reason. However, it doesn't really matter. Let's solo these out here. Now this one's just a shorter delay, around 56 milliseconds. I dialed it back in the mix and kind of went through. These are just the delay models that I had, and I went through and just listened to them and tried to find one that fit well with the characteristic of the guitar. So let's take a listen to what this first delay does. So it just gives it a little bit of width on the sustain end, which is what I was aiming for. And this next delay that I added in will change a bit more dramatically here, the quality of this guitar. So I'm going to open up these buses here. As you can see, bus 9 and 10 going to this track here. And let's take a look at what I did. So as you can see, it's 566 milliseconds this time, so it's a much longer delay, still dialed back on the mix control, and we have a different delay model we're working with. So let's take a listen to what this does. So you can hear it gives it more of that echo effect, which is what I was actually looking to do. Gives it a bit more of a defined character. And let's listen to it in the mix and you can kind of see what I was trying to do. So you can hear that repeat that I was going for. I think that just adds a lot of character to it, and kind of gives it that feel that this whole song has, this kind of like distant feel, in my opinion. So anyways, let's keep going. There's one more thing that I did to kind of thicken up this guitar and really make it stand out, and that's simply just adding a room reverb. Now this room reverb, you can see is I added it to multiple different tracks here, and all this is doing is essentially making the guitar sit in the mix. This is something that I would normally do depending on the instrumentation. Even if the guitar didn't have as much of a lead role as it does in this song, usually it's still added in to kind of create a sense of space. So let's take a final listen to see what all of this processing sounds like. So from the beginning, let's take a listen to the result and compare and contrast what these changes do. So that's what the result of all of these processing units are. One more thing that I would usually do is pan, maybe try to give this guitar a little bit more room away from the rhythm. You really want to make sure that they both have their own space and they can both be heard very clearly. Anyways, this is how I go about thickening up a guitar in this particular scenario, something where your guitar is very lead oriented, supposed to stick out in the mix. And I feel like this happens a lot with like big room rock, and I think this technique definitely works well. So like I said, just make sure that you're not adding too much of your chorus and flanger effects, layering delays, layering reverbs, just layering these different little characteristics and tweaking them just right can go a long way. So subtle layers help a lot to create a new dimension in your guitar without making it sound too much like an effect. So anyways, this is it for this video. I hope you guys pick something up from this. Let me know in the comment section below if there's anything that you would like to learn about, anything that you want clarified about this video. And I hope everybody's staying passionate, and until next time, have a good day.